This is my TNA Slammiversary 2009 pay-per-view review. Overall, the pay-per-view was solid. It wasn't like anything I would say is a must-buy pay-per-view, but it was a few good matches on it. The ending of the pay-per-view was a little weak. The first matchup was the X Division King of the Mountain match with Jay Lethal versus Consequences Creed versus Shelley versus Chris Sabin versus Suicide. This was a good way to start the show off with. It was kind of like what you would expect with the X Division type match. The crowd was into it. It was a little bit spotty within this match, but you kind of expect that with the X Division, but it kind of didn't make too much sense the way they kind of did this match, because the point of the match is obviously climbing up the ladder, hanging up the belt, and that's the way you win the match. But pretty much after everyone was qualified to climb up the ladder and hang the belt, they just did a lot of spots pretty much for no reason at all, but there were good spots. Like one spot saw there was a ladder placed against the penalty box, and Chris Sabin kind of did like the thing Shelton Benjamin does, crawls up the ladder and does a crossbody to a couple wrestlers on the floor. Jay Lethal did a elbow drop to a ladder that was placed from the ring apron to the guardrail to I think it was Chris Sabin, I'm pretty sure. Then the end of this match saw they did a little spot where Suicide and Consequences Creed were on top of the penalty box brawl, and there was a ladder placed up there. Suicide kind of beat down Consequences Creed and kind of put him on top of the ladder so hold the ladder in place. Jay Lethal was under the ladder on the top turnbuckle, and on the ladder you saw not Chris Sabin, but Shelley climb up the ladder trying to win the X Division Championship. But you saw Suicide run across, hit a spinning DDT that was a pretty good spot, and Suicide does win this match and retain the X Division Championship. I'm pretty sure everyone saw that coming. 3 and 1, 4 stars. Then the next matchup was Shane Douglas versus Christopher Daniels. This was just a completely boring match from the beginning. I don't think anyone was expecting much from this at all. Just didn't enjoy it at all. Christopher Daniels tried his best to pull something good out, but it just didn't work at all. Hopefully this will be the last time we see Shane Douglas in TNA. As I said before, I don't mind if Raven stays, but Shane Douglas is so past his prime, I don't think anyone wants to see him at all. Daniels does pick up the victory, kind of like in the opening match. Both those matches were very predictable of who was going to actually go over in that match. So Daniels, like I said, does win that match and retain his roster spot within TNA. I would give it about a 1 and 1/4 star, and that's probably even being a little generous right there. Then the next matchup was for the TNA Knockouts Championship match with Tara versus Angelina Love. Now this match was pretty short. I was hoping it would have been given a little more time, but it was a solid women's match, and actually in this match Angelina Love does go over in this match, and she goes over cleanly over Tara, aka Victoria, and don't have no problem with that. I think they need to build up Tara and have her kind of chase after the title for about 3-4 months, and kind of build Angelina Love at the same time. But it does kind of somewhat shock me she did win the match cleanly. I thought they did do a couple things outside the ring before the match ended with the beautiful people attacking Tara, so I guess they kind of did help her in some cases to somewhat win this match. But a solid women's match here, 2 and 1/4 stars. Then the next matchup was a intergender Monsters Ball match with Raven and Daffney versus Abyss and Taylor Wilde, and this was good stuff. You saw some good brawling in this. Abyss, obviously, like pretty much all his matches, most time gets busted open in this match. And they had a table near where the speakers were on the stage, and you saw Daffney do a splash off of it onto the table to Taylor Wilde. Actually, in this match, Daffney gets thrown through some thumbtacks from Taylor Wilde, and the end of the match comes when Abyss hits the Black Hole Slam on Raven for the victory, for him and Taylor Wilde to pick up the victory. For a Monsters Ball match and kind of a match that was pretty much thrown together for the most part, it was pretty solid action within here, pretty much what I was expecting. Wasn't great though. I would give it, what did I give it? About a 2.5 star match. Then the next matchup was Matt Morgan and Sting, and this right here was easily the second worst match of the night, right behind the Shane Douglas and Daniels match, which that was the worst match of the night. This match right here, now they pulled off some good stuff here, but it was just so short considering this match kind of did have a pretty good build up to it, And Matt Morgan, TNA is obviously very high on him, and Sting does go over in this match, and Matt Morgan isn't a part of the main event Mafia, which I was somewhat expecting them to maybe go the route of Matt Morgan winning this match, but they didn't. So Sting went over after hitting the Scorpion Death Drop off the second rope to Matt Morgan. Some good entertaining stuff in there, but just an average match right there, 1 3/4 stars. Then the next matchup was Beer Money Incorporated versus Team 3D for the TNA World Tag Team titles, and this was a good tag team match. You saw some good action in here, good back and forth stuff between both teams. And Beer Money, they're really developing as a great tag team within TNA this whole year, and definitely glad they did go over in this match. And they did one spot where the British Invasion did get involved in this match, but Beer Money does go over after hitting the DWI to brother Ray Devon in this match. Then this match 3 stars, and then the main event was obviously for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship and a King of the Mountain match with defending champion Mick Foley versus Jeff Jarrett versus AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle. And you saw some good stuff in here. I really liked the stuff that AJ Styles and Kurt Angle did in this match. Joe, considering Joe was battling an injury in here, he did some decent stuff in this match. And obviously Foley really didn't do much in this match, just like every one of his title matches since his title reign. He pretty much just stands around and doesn't do anything, just like the Fatal 4-Way that he did last month at the last TNA pay-per-view, and obviously the match at Lockdown, he didn't do much at all. And Jeff Jarrett, even though I'm not a fan of Jarrett did some solid stuff in here. Now, the ending of this match is probably going to be the thing that I think a lot of people are going to really hate about this match. And, okay, this is the way the match ends. Okay, it looks like AJ Styles is going to go up the ladder, because everyone did qualify to climb up the ladder to win the heavyweight title. And AJ Styles climbs up the ladder, crowd's going apeshit, thinks he's going to win the title. Then you see Joe get in the ring, you see Joe powerbomb him off the ladder. Then you see Joe get the world title from AJ Styles that fell, and Kurt Angle climbs up the ladder. So you're expecting Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle kind of battle it out on top of the ladder. But no, that doesn't happen. Joe climbs up the ladder with Kurt Angle and just hands him the title. So Joe does help Kurt Angle win this title, and I guess Joe, he's going to be a part of the main event Mafia now or whatnot. I guess we'll have to see what happens with that with the upcoming impacts and what they go with that route right there. And Kurt Angle and Joe did hug up at the top of the ladder. 3 1/4 star match. That ending was very like Russo type, WCW ending that you saw back in like 2000, but it had some solid, very good stuff within the match with AJ Styles and Kurt Angle. Joe did some good stuff, and Jeff Jarrett. So even though I didn't like the ending of the match and the way it ended, I am happy that Mick Foley or Jeff Jarrett didn't win the title, and they got the title off Mick Foley. And I don't have no problem with Kurt Angle as TNA champion, because Kurt Angle does perform good in the ring, and he definitely can be a good TNA World Heavyweight Champion. But I was really wishing in this match that AJ Styles would get the Heavyweight Championship, because he's definitely long overdue for it, because he actually hasn't had that title since TNA's ever been on Spike TV, and last time he held it was back in May of 2005. But overall, this pay-per-view right here, some good stuff. The 2 King of the Mountain matches were pretty good. The tag title match was good. We saw a solid women's match, and pretty much the only weak stuff on here was the Shane Douglas match, and the match with Matt Morgan and Sting wasn't terrible, but I would classify it as watchable at best. I would give this pay-per-view about a 6.75 out of 10, and yeah, that's it for my TNA Slammiversary 2009 pay-per-view review. Peace.